What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, and we had an epic live viewer questions yesterday. So that was awesome. Thank you for everybody who participated in that. Good show. There's a lot going on, and right now it is time for your daily focus, which is, of course, being Monday and all, Monday Night Raw preview. But before we get to that, I want to explain something new on the little background here that you're probably noticing. You're noticing a little green bar with some words on it, and you read the words, you see that as a trivia bar. Now I'm going to start it up, and here we go. And check it out. This is how this thing works. I'm going to be doing trivia every single time I go on camera. You'll be seeing trivia here. And real simple. You're going to self-score, and whoever answers these very difficult wrestling history questions most accurately, and look, self-scoring, you're on the honor system here. You can look it up and lie all you want, but you go ahead and you put your score in the comment section below. I check it out. I keep score, and at the end of the week, every Sunday, whoever has the highest score, I will bring on, ask you 5 questions. If you get at least 3 of them, they're not going to be easy, so I'm going to test if you're actually good or if you're just looking everything up. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. If you get at least 3 of them right, you win the rights to have 5 minutes of unfettered rant time during the live show on Sunday. Pretty good deal, right? So there you go. For those of you who want your voices heard in a more impactful way, you want to talk about whatever you want to get off your chest, I will give you 5 minutes, as long as it's not offensive or hate-mongering or anything like that, to talk about whatever you like and have a lot of fun. All you got to do is answer a few trivia questions. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you like the new addition to the channel. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Monday Night Raw preview show, shall we? Look, Raw has been since the one after WrestleMania. I'm not going to say they've been horrible. Last week had some good points, and I mean, that's kind of where it's been. Nothing phenomenal, but of course we know that this is the go-home show for Extreme Rules, which I'm figuring a lot of people think it's going to be a throwaway show, and they might be right. It's very possible that's the case. So the question becomes, what do you think is going to happen tonight? What should you expect from Monday Night Raw? I think aside from the storyline questions that we'll get into, I think one thing everyone's going to be looking for is to see Daniel Bryan on Raw. And if he is on Raw, in what role? Will he be doing what he's been doing the last couple of weeks on Raw, just doing backstage stuff, not doing anything in the ring? If he does have any ring work, will it be in a 6-man tag? Will it be in a tag team match? Will he work a full-on singles match? And if he does, will it be long in a Daniel Bryan match? In what form are we going to see Daniel Bryan? I think that becomes a real legitimate question at this point, because everybody knows he was pulled off the European tour, and there are all kinds of conflicting reports about what's actually wrong with him. Some people say he was concussed during the Sheamus match on SmackDown. Other people are saying it's completely baloney. There are some reports stating that he is just completely banged up backstage. He's not healed from the neck injuries, and it's just a matter of time before he has to actually have the surgeries he should have had last year. So there's all these conflicting reports. Nobody knows exactly what the truth is with Daniel Bryan. So really, we just have to kind of wait and see. We're in a hold type pattern right now to see what type of performance, if any, Daniel Bryan's going to give. What do you think? Is Daniel Bryan going to show up tonight? And if he does, will he wrestle? What does all this mean for Extreme Rules? Will he drop the belt to Bad News Barrett? Or is his injury bad enough that they might strip him tonight of the belt and set up a new match for Extreme Rules? Maybe a tournament, something to add a little sizzle to Extreme Rules. Look, that's what I would do. If Daniel Bryan is hurt enough where he has to have surgery, strip him tonight and then set up a tournament. Because this way you're taking care of Raw and setting up a major thing for Extreme Rules. You set up a tournament tonight, you get qualifying guys. You have 4 people that qualify, move on, and they have to have a mini tournament at Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental title. And the four guys who win their matches tonight could be like Bad News Barrett, maybe Neville, Dean Ambrose, and Dolph Ziggler if you want to take him out of the other match with Sheamus, or anybody else that you want to put in there. What about Bray Wyatt? Give him a title run, something like that. There are plenty of things that you can do in this situation. Or how about a guy like Fandango? You want to give him a real push, this is the perfect way to do it. This is all just speculation. It's just something that I would like to see if, in fact, Daniel Bryan is really hurt. He's going to have to miss time. Why wait? You don't have to do a write-off segment with him. You don't have to have him lose to Bad News Barrett. You can just do it this way and strip him of the belt, which I know sucks, but you can set up a really cool thing for Extreme Rules. That's just how I would handle it. What do you think? That's the real good question. We know that Triple H will be making his reemergence onto television. What is he going to do? Is he going to be there just to make the announcement of Tough Enough? I'm sure the announcement is going to have to do with the host of Tough Enough, who will be hosting. Expect Jericho to show up. I have a feeling that he will be the host. He will be named host, and if he is, he'll be there. Part of the announcement. It would not surprise me at all, or possibly somebody else. If they're going to go in a different route. Whoever it is, it would be, especially if it's a legendary guy, somebody with a lot of name credibility, it'd be cool to have him on the show. I'm expecting it because of the fact that they're making a big deal about this huge announcement by Triple H, and so I'm expecting something big. But will that be Triple H's only role tonight? Will he address all of the craziness that is happening within the Authority? Will he address Kane? Will he address the champion, Seth Rollins? What is going to happen with that situation? And speaking of the Authority, is there a major shakeup on the horizon for the Authority? Are we going to see Kane getting the boot? If he does, will somebody be stepping in as the new director of operations? Is that role going to continue? I mean, what's going to be the outcome of that? Is Sheamus, who many people feel is an obvious candidate to become part of the Authority, will he be moving into the Authority at some point to kind of shake up the entire dynamic? Will Big Show, after losing to Roman Reigns, there's all these retirement talks. They're saying the word retirement in when it comes to Big Show on television lately. I mean, Roman Reigns even said, "I'm going to retire you." Is that going to happen? And if it does that open up a new slot within the Authority? There's plenty of things that you can look at of how it's going to happen, even with a storyline that nobody wants to see, such as Roman Reigns and Big Show. This match nobody cares about. Nobody cares about the feud. People think it's boring, and it is. They're not doing Roman Reigns any favors by having him in there with the Big Show. So now the question becomes, moving away from the Authority, have you built Roman Reigns up enough for this match, and how do you book him properly to go over Big Show? I'm assuming Roman Reigns is going to get the upper hand on him tonight, since he was put almost through a car last week. We'll see what happens with it. It should be quite interesting, not from a Big Show standpoint, just from a Roman Reigns standpoint. I actually don't think that they should bring Sheamus into the Authority. If they want to shake things up, there's a way to do it. You bring in Roman Reigns. Maybe even have him be the guy to take the spot of Seth Rollins. Because you have to figure at some point, Seth Rollins' run with the Authority is going to come to an end. Some people love his heel work. Other people find it inconsistent. I'm in the latter category. I like him as a heel, but I also feel it's inconsistent. He does very good with the spots that he's given, but I'd like to see a little more consistency in his promo work as a heel. I mean, it is what it is there. But to bring in someone like Roman Reigns, I think would really shake up the storyline. I don't think you do it now. You wait a little while. You let Roman Reigns get on a roll and build back up and see how it goes. It all depends on how the fans react to him. It seems like they're starting to take him back in. But you got to get him out. Either way, you got to get him out of the storylines with the Big Show. It just has to. Absolutely has to. There's no way you keep that going. It's not working. Dump it. So, moving on from all the Roman Reigns and Authority talk, The question also becomes of what's going to happen with the Divas division now. They're giving Divas a chance. It's the worst movement in history. I absolutely hate it because it's mental gymnastic stupidity. But the reality is, however you want to say it's happened, the Divas are getting more time within the ring. Unfortunately, the current Divas on the roster are not doing much with that opportunity. I'm looking at you, Cameron. I'm looking at you, Alicia Fox. Now, I'm not looking at you, Miss Natalia, because you're doing everything in your power to stay relevant. But for some reason, you're not the chosen one. Right now, it's Naomi. Naomi's different. Naomi hit the trifecta when all of this give Divas a chance thing started. And because WWE is constantly being accused of racism. She really hit the trifecta. She's athletic, she's black, and she's a woman. So there's a really good opportunity here. Now that she's gone heel especially, there's a great chance for her to become the athletic heel black women's champion. I mean, the Divas champion, excuse me. Especially if the Bellas are going away, which I think is still a very good possibility. They set up a future feud with Paige for when Paige returns to television, which probably be in a month, but maybe they'll keep her off a little bit longer. Who knows? They already got that feud set up between these two. If Naomi is the champion and she is just like a complete heel and an ass and she's athletic and she starts to really get it going in the ring, which I hope she does. I don't think so because she's so wildly inconsistent. Then you have a built-in feud that can carry you until you're ready to bring up this new crop of divas, whether it be Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley. I think is closer than ever before. Same thing with Becky Lynch, maybe even someone like Alexa Bliss. Yeah, I think there's a lot of women down there who can step up and do something. And then, of course, you have the new developmental project in Dana Brooke, who I'm sure they're going to want to get her up to WWE quickly, but hopefully they will do the right thing and let her develop slowly because she's green. She's greener than Kermit the Frog, folks, let me tell you. But the question becomes, what do they do for the Divas division tonight? What are we going to see? Are we going to see more triple threat matches? Are we going to see a tag team match? Will the Divas champion actually do something? Now that Naomi's a heel, Nikki's a heel too, and that complicates things quite a bit. So will they have another Divas Battle Royal? Will there be a small tournament to determine somebody to fight Nikki at Extreme Rules? Because Paige is not cleared to wrestle, so who's going to take her spot? That has to be cleared up tonight. I feel it will be, but the question does become, do the Bellas go face to take on the new emerging super heel in Naomi? I think that becomes the biggest question. And I think if that happens, that's going to tell us quite a bit about the future of the Bellas. If the Bellas have a long-standing future in WWE, expect them to stay heel. If they don't, if they're leaving soon, face to set up the next heel makes sense. So that's what I'm expecting to see happen, but who knows? Another storyline that involves somebody getting written off of television will be taking place tonight. The Mizdow situation should be completely resolved after tonight. The Miz and Mizdow will be fighting for the right to have the Miz gimmick, the music, the wardrobe, the glasses, the name, all of it. And it looks like Miz is set to lose this match, which I think is a good thing on many levels because he'll be going to film Santa's Little Helper with Paige. Why is this a good thing for Miz to lose? It's real simple. The man needs a shakeup. He needs a new identity. He needs something to keep him going. More importantly, Mizdow has not shown any ability to get over or become relevant on his own. So you keep him with the gimmick that has kept him hot. Real simple. I think that's logic-based thinking at its finest. So all of that points to Miz losing tonight. The question is going to be how. And where does Summer Rae fit into all of this? Will she be a mainstay fixture with Mizdow? And if so, does that a more prominent role for her? I think these two could be a really good couple within the WWE and do some things to really shake up some divisions. We'll see. They seem to have good chemistry. They have a good look together because they're so contrasting. I like it. I like what they're doing, and I hope it continues. So that should be a hell of a interesting situation. Seth Rollins. The question has to become about him specifically. I know we talked a little bit about him and his heel work and everything, but how fearful is Seth Rollins of losing his belt in the cage now that he will not be assisted by the Authority? I also think there's flaws in the logic that by having a cage, it automatically keeps the Authority out. How many times have we seen in wrestling people get involved in cage matches? It happens virtually every friggin' match. So the question does become, what are they going to do with this match to make it a little bit unique? I think you have to have Rollins beat Orton clean in the cage by himself. Let them have a really great match, because even the match at WrestleMania, there was a lot of interference by J&J Security and all that. We don't need that in this match. This has got to be a match to show Rollins' strength by beating a former 10-time champion in Randy Orton, and doing so in a brutal match in a cage is a really good way to do it. So hopefully they're going to set that up tonight. I'm sure he'll still be doing some of his cowardice things that he does, talking to Kane, talking to Big Show about how he needs to be protected. But hopefully that is going to be kind of focused into him really standing on his own 2 feet. That's what I'm hoping happens. Bray Wyatt is another hot topic for a lot of people. Who is he going to be targeting, and how does he fit into the long-term pictures in the WWE right now? Well, if I'm right about Seth Rollins beating Randy Orton, the most logical way, and especially if they want to continue Rollins being a sneaky, underhanded champion, if they don't want to go with the route of making him look strong by having him win clean, what better way than have Bray Wyatt get involved in a cage, which he's done recently before, by the way. Different cage, but same results. What better way than to have him insert himself into the match, because it's not an Authority member, so that's not banned, than by screwing Randy Orton over and starting their feud. Because I'm having a feeling that it's going to be Randy Orton that Bray Wyatt's been targeting. And I only say it because there's simply no one else that makes sense. No one. I mean, I guess the love stuff, Fandango. No, nothing else makes sense. It's not going to be Daniel Bryan. It's not going to be Dean Ambrose. None of those make sense. Big Show, Kane, none of those make sense. Nobody else makes sense. Sheamus doesn't make sense. Barrett doesn't make sense. None of it does. Axel's not a big enough name. Anyone who does make sense a little bit on the lower card is not a big enough name for Wyatt to be impactful enough. Randy Orton makes perfect sense. Randy Orton being a face again. Randy Orton being a huge name. It all makes perfect sense. It fits. And so I could see that happening. It makes a lot of sense. And it should be a really good feud. Randy Orton doesn't need to be in the title picture anymore. I think he did his job very well. So it's time to move on. And Randy should be putting a couple of guys over, starting with Rollins here and Bray Wyatt next. So we'll see if that goes. What do you think? Am I completely off base here? Who do you think Bray Wyatt's going to be targeting? And who should he be targeting? The tag team division is all messy right now. I have no idea who's fighting who. This is what I do know. The tag team champions, Kid and Cesaro, were in a main event on SmackDown against two of the biggest names in the company, John Cena and Daniel Bryan. That's a really good thing for them. But what does it mean for the current tag team situation? Are they going to set up a match to have the tag team champs defend their titles at Extreme Rules with some of the other guys that are on the roster? New Day are finally starting to win a couple matches. So does that put them in line? Should they have to take on the Primetime Players or the Lucha Dragons or, God forbid, Los Matadores again? What about the Ascension? What do you do to crown a new number one contender? I think it has to happen. It's got to happen soon. So is that going to be addressed tonight? I think it's a very good possibility that it is. And hopefully it'll be in some kind of a tournament fashion. I love tournaments. I love them. I love tournaments. I want to see tournaments all the time. Love them, love them, love them. They're interesting. They're intriguing. And they have a sense of feeling real. That's the thing. They blur the lines because tournaments can't be fixed. Everybody knows that. No NCAA tournaments ever fixed. No NFL playoffs, NBA playoffs. None of them. They're not fixed. We need playoffs. So That's why I love playoffs. I love when they're on television, especially, I mean, one of my favorite pay-per-views in the 90s, I wish they'd bring it back, is King of the Ring. I love King of the Ring. I love that tournament. So I want to see something with the tag team titles in a unique way that's really going to get us a matchup that'll be nice and effective for Extreme Rules. Hopefully the Lucha Dragons. And maybe even them taking the belts off of Ken Cesaro, depending on how hot the Lucha Dragons are going forward. Finally, we're going to end with Neville. Neville and his purple cape. Where does Neville go besides up? That's the question that has to be asked. Who does he take on tonight? Is another big name that he'll be dropping another match to? Is it somebody in the mid-card that he'll be getting a very big victory over? Neville is very hot right now. Everybody loves the guy because of the amazing work he's doing. Does he continue to innovate? Does he continue to do things that nobody has seen before, even in losses? But I think it's time to start getting him some victories, and we should see him beating a good-sized name tonight. Hopefully that'll be the case. They seem to be very high on Neville. And is there a possibility of any big surprises tonight? Are we going to see anybody that we weren't expecting to? It seems like Finn Balor is like right on the cusp of coming up. But when will he? You know, there's all these guys that we're waiting to see. When are they going to pull the trigger? They can do it whenever they like. So the question really does become, what's next for Neville? And how exciting is it going to be when this guy really starts to go on a roll? I mean, he's so interesting. Everything he does is great because he has so much control. I've never seen a high flyer ever in wrestling with the control that he has. It's unbelievable. The accuracy in which he hits high-risk maneuvers is ridiculous. It's never been seen. Never been seen. I've never seen another guy. So, I forgot about John Cena. John Cena and his United States Open Championship Challenge. Maybe Neville will factor into that. Maybe he'll take on John Cena for the United States title tonight. That's a possibility. That would be cool to see. So there are just a lot of storylines going on within WWE right now, and it's hard to keep track of everything and what's the most relevant. But I think tonight things will get a little bit clear for their go-home show leading into Extreme Rules. What do you want to see? What matches do you want to see set up? And what are you excited about for Extreme Rules? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys for all the support. Love hearing from you guys. I try to respond to as many comments as I possibly can. So thank you guys for coming out and talking on all of the Sunday night live shows and all of that. You guys are the best viewers on YouTube. I appreciate everything you do. Make sure you're checking out everybody else. I just filmed a show with Tommy C, the In the Crease with Tommy C over on his channel, Shot from the Point. Make sure you check that out. Great episode of In the Crease. We had a lot of fun. So make sure you go check that out. It's up right now. Joe Cronin is kicking ass and taking names. He started a new channel. So I'm not going to announce it here because I think he's going to want to do a formal thing. So just keep your eye out for that. So just remember the acronym ANN. Just remember that. And it's coming. But in the meantime, you can also check out Joe Cronin on the Joe Cronin Show. And remember, you'll catch me there live with him directly after Raw tonight. Tosevich, maybe Jesse, maybe Tommy C shows up. Who knows? You never know with us. And we will be live directly after Monday Night Raw on his show, on his channel, Joe Cronin Show, on YouTube. Make sure you also check out my co-host on Touch 'Em All, Jeff the Huff Huffman, Grand Slam 87 on YouTube. Make sure you're checking him out as well. We'll be doing our weekly baseball show here shortly, very soon. So make sure after you're done watching this, you go watch that. Or maybe you watch that first. And if you did, thanks for watching that show. And I hope you enjoyed this one. So other than that, I'm your boy, Dead on Dave. Thank you very much for joining me once again. Like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Peace.